Hey everybody, welcome back. And today I'm talking to you about the hottest comics that I've read this past week. My top 5 recommended reads. But first, please be sure to subscribe, like the video, and comment down below what you read this week that just blew you out of the water. I'd love to check it out. Starting with my number 5 pick, Black Hammer Reborn number 9. Now, I did think this Black Hammer Reborn was probably the slowest start of all the Black Hammer titles. However, now that we have dived into it and we're getting close to the ending, this one really picked up for me. I thought it was absolutely well done. We have the simple task of the alternate universe of Black Hammer where the villains are good guys and the good guys are villains. Yes, it's a classic trope, but in this world, every comic trope is definitely a hidden commentary, and I just absolutely love this. The main feeling you get in this issue is when you find out that basically our savior, our biggest hero, is the biggest villain in this world, and it's our main hero's father that passed away, and you have this really emotional tie and bond with her and her dad, and how she really became a hero. She's also looking for her family, and the only way she is seeing that could be capable is if she goes down this dark path. So hopefully she doesn't do that. I know I am a little bit behind, but I am going to pick up soon. It is kind of tough for me to read so many comics, so I try to read as much as I can. But I really enjoyed that issue. And my number 4 spot is going to be Sweet Paprika number 7. I really love Mirka Andolfo's her original work, her art and writing. I think it is very fun, and it's also very different from a lot of other comics that released during this time. So a lot of people see Sweet Paprika as a super sexy sexual comic, and yeah, there is parts to that. However, it's a romance at its heart. It is definitely a more relationship between Sweet Paprika and this delivery boy Dill, and she's right now using him for sex to make herself better so that when she goes on a date with the guy she really likes, she'll be great at it. However, she begins to develop feelings for him, and he develops feelings for her, and they just kind of break it off in this issue, and I kind of see that they will end up together by the end of it, probably, hopefully. But yeah, it's just a really nice rom-com, and I just find that so cool. I think some of my favorite parts is Sweet Paprika herself. I think she is very funny, unique. She can be drawn very sexy and cutesy, but then when she gets into her angry mode, she turns into this devil, and she's scary and she's frightening, and no one really wants to talk to her or deal with her. So it's super conflicting, but it's really fun, and if you get that type of humor, this book would definitely be up your category. In my number 3 spot is going to be Flashpoint Beyond number 0. Jeff Johns does it again in my eyes. I absolutely loved this issue. I thought it blended in perfectly, not only his Flashpoint, but also his Doomsday Clock, and the blend of those together. And I find that so cool that I have been reading his work for so long and I get rewarded for it. You're not punished necessarily for not reading his works. He does try to catch you up in it, but you are rewarded for keeping up with it. So I really like that we're trying to hunt down this Clockwork Killer. I really like how Thomas Wayne has just gone ballistic, and he wants Bruce back. He was promised Bruce back in Flashpoint, so he is on his mission to get him back. However, how that treats the other people in his Earth might not particularly like the way he goes about it, but he's gonna get to it, and he's gonna solve this no matter what. So I really like that. I really like all the obscure characters we get introduced into this. I did have to look up some of them because I was like, I'm not familiar with that character. So sometimes that happens because I read older comics. I read more modern comics, so I was really excited to see what happened in this issue, and I'm really looking forward to number 1 now. As for my number 2 read this week, it's going to be Little Monsters number 2. I know I had a really hard time choosing my number 1 and my number 2, but Little Monsters number 2 was amazing. I thought it was incredible, and it was a great place to pick off from the last issue. We've had tons of introductions to who these children are, how they've become, and in this issue in particular, we find out a lot more about Romy, who, in my opinion, is one of the most interesting characters. We also find out more about how they feed and how these vampires live amongst each other, and it really was just a nice gothic horror-esque vampire story. It was simple but bloody and gory, and I liked that a lot. It makes me looking forward to the next one even greater, and I just cannot wait for the next issue. I think this comic is going to be one of my favorites for the year, and it's probably going to make my top 10, so I'm really excited to see the way this one plays out. I'm just loving Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen's work together. And as for my number 1 spot, it's going to a Marvel comic, Strange number 2. Now, I talk about Jed MacKay quite a bit and how much I enjoy him. I think Jed MacKay really understands the Marvel readers. I think he really tries to balance not only the love for the movies and TV shows and things like that, but also still make it that comic book-esque. And that's what he does a great job at. I'm glad that he's not bringing in, this Doctor Strange that's actually Benedict Cumberbatch or something. He's like, yeah, people like Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange, but I'm going to make Clea Sorcerer Supreme now. And in doing so, he opens up just a wide world of how Clea can be Sorcerer Supreme. And not only is she just really cool and she has great powers, she's also really funny and interesting, and honestly, I think her characterization is perfect. I think it is so fantastic, and I do believe that she could be a hot titled seller, and I think she could be big in the MCU too. So having her in this issue, just being fully established as Sorcerer Supreme, really fighting Thunderstrike, and really advancing her powers, it leads to that ultimate end where she has to choose whether she wants to be Sorcerer Supreme of Earth or of her Earth. So she is originally the Sorcerer Supreme of the Dark Dimension. However, she's used to doing things by killing people and torturing them and, making them terrified. So she is gonna have to balance out how this is gonna be able to play, because Doctor Strange, he's not known for killing. He's not known for terrorizing people. So I just find that so interesting, and I just had so much fun with this comic. I definitely think this will make my top 10 if it keeps going the way it's going. Each issue has just been so fun, and yeah, I love this book. So these are my top 5 reads of the week. Let me know what you read. I really want to check it out. And you can pick up all these comics and many more at your local comic book shop still. Have a great day.